Despite the fact that the first and second overall picks from the 2019 NHL draft, Jack Hughes and Kaapo Kakko, had some pretty disappointing rookie seasons, it was still overall a real solid year for rookies. We had a 30-goal scorer in Dominik Kubalik, Nick Suzuki had a fantastic year in Montreal, there was obviously a plethora of amazing defensemen, Cale Makar, Quinn Hughes, Adam Fox, and even somebody like John Marino. My hope is that this upcoming season is much of the same, and once again we have a ton of fantastic rookies to talk about. I think that's going to be the case. There's a lot of top prospects looking to make that jump into the NHL. So for today's video, I'm going to give you guys my Calder Trophy power rankings. So pretty much just going to go over my top 10 Calder Trophy candidates for the 2020-2021 NHL season. Now, of course, this is just my opinion, so if there's somebody that you think is going to be in the Calder Trophy conversation that I did not talk about in this video, just leave a comment down below. Be sure to go follow me on Instagram and Twitter if you want to talk hockey somewhere other than YouTube. Links to those will be down below in the description, and of course if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And with all that out of the way, let's begin. Starting us off at number 10, we have Alexander Romanov, defensive prospect for the Montreal Canadiens, a second round pick, 38th overall in the 2018 draft. Romanov has spent each of the past 2 seasons playing for CSKA Moscow in the KHL. As a very young defenseman, he has been extremely steady over there in one of the best leagues in the world. He had a plus 16 rating in 18-19 and a plus 21 this past season. Certainly isn't a prospect who's put up huge numbers over there offensively, but he definitely has shown some offensive upside in the World Juniors. 14 points in 14 games over the past 2 tournaments. If Romanov does make the Montreal Canadiens this upcoming season, which a lot of people project him to, I think he's going to. I really believe he's going to have a big impact, especially on the left side where Montreal's a little bit weaker. Shea Weber and Jeff Petrie, their 2 best defensemen, both play on the right side. I definitely don't think anyone would be shocked if Romanov is playing big minutes in the top 4 by the end of the season. The reason I only have him at number 10 on this list is because I don't really think he's going to put up a lot of points. I'd say maybe in the 15 to 20 range, depending on how many games are played. Like I said, I really do think Romanov is going to have a big impact, but let's be honest, the NHL is not going to give the Calder Trophy to a defenseman who puts up 15 points. That's kind of just the way it is. Coming in at number 9, we have Tim Stützle, Ottawa's 3rd overall pick from the 2020 NHL draft, had 34 points in 41 games last season for the Mannheim Eagles in the DEL. One of the reasons I only have Tim Stützle at number 9 is because he did break his arm not too long ago. He had to get surgery done. I'm not 100% sure if he's going to be ready to go for training camp whenever that does start. As far as Tim Stützle making the team or not, if he's healthy, if he's ready to go, I don't see a scenario where he's not playing for the Ottawa Senators this upcoming season. Not only that, I think he's going to have a pretty prominent role for them, most likely in the top 6. He'll most likely get top power play minutes as well, I'd imagine. Stützle is an extremely talented player. If put in the right positions, I think he's going to rack up the points. Again, the only reason Stützle is this low is because I don't know if he's going to be 100% ready to go for the start of the season, even if he only misses, let's say, 10 games. If it's a shortened season, which it probably will be, that would make it pretty hard to win the Calder. Moving along now, at number 8, I have Grigory Denisenko, prospect for the Florida Panthers, their 15th overall pick from the 2018 NHL draft. He posted 12 points in 38 KHL games this past season. He's lit up the previous 2 World Junior tournaments. I think there's a real good chance Denisenko plays a pretty prominent role for the Florida Panthers this upcoming season, especially when you consider the fact that if Evgeny Dadonov is gone, he signed with Ottawa. Mike Hoffman is probably gone. He's still currently a free agent. That's 2 pretty big holes in the top 6 on the wing. I'm sure Patrick Hornqvist can come in and fill one of those spots, but still, there definitely is an opening for somebody like Denisenko to come in and take. The only reason I have him down here at number 8 is because there's another Florida Panthers prospect that I think might be a little bit more ready to take that spot. We'll talk about him in a little bit. Number 7 on the list, we have Quinton Byfield of the Los Angeles Kings, the 2nd overall pick from the 2020 NHL draft. There's a lot of people who think he's not NHL ready. There's also a lot of people that do think he's NHL ready. Quinton Byfield is still extremely young. He just turned 18 in August. However, he is 6'4", 215 pounds. I'm pretty sure he's going to be able to hold his own. He's a strong guy. I believe LA is going to give him every opportunity to make the team right away, especially when you look at their center depth. You have Anze Kopitar, and after him, it's kind of wide open. Something that might play a part in LA deciding where Quinton Byfield is going to play this upcoming season is the fact that the Ontario Hockey League is having no hitting, which I won't even get into that. It's absolutely ridiculous. ridiculous, but if I'm the LA Kings, I would not want Quinton Byfield going back to play for Sudbury in the OHL for a year with no contact. That seems like it would almost be just a year of wasted development. I'm sure the Kings would rather just have Byfield traveling with the team and practicing with them, as opposed to him going back and just dominating the OHL. Moving along now, at number 6, we have BYRAM, Colorado's 4th overall pick from the 2019 NHL Draft. 52 points in 50 games this past season in the WHL for the Vancouver Giants. The only thing is, Colorado's blue line is pretty stacked right now. You have Cale Makar, Samuel Girard, Ryan Graves, Devin Toews now after they brought him in, Ian Cole, and Eric Johnson. He's gonna have to bump one of those guys out to even just get into the top 6. So while yes, maybe BYRAM is ready to take on an NHL role, he's gonna have to play amazing to make this Avalanche team. The only players I could see him bumping out of the lineup are Ian Cole and maybe Eric Johnson. Neither of those two are bad defensemen. If Colorado didn't go out and get Devin Toews after trading away Nikita Zadorov for Brendan Saad, then BYRAM honestly probably would have been a couple spots higher on this list. Getting into the top 5 now, at the number 5 spot we have Owen Tippett, so the other Panthers prospect I was referring to when talking about Denisenko. Owen Tippett was Florida's 10th overall pick back in the 2017 NHL Draft, played his first pro season this past year with the Springfield Thunderbirds in the American Hockey League, and Owen Tippett put up really impressive numbers. In 46 games, he had 19 goals and 40 points. In my opinion, Tippett is going to get every opportunity to make this Panthers team, pretty much for all the same reasons as to why I said Grigory Denisenko would. I'm really interested to see which one of these prospects makes the team for Florida. Maybe both of them do, maybe only one of them does, and who knows, maybe I'm completely wrong and neither of them do. I don't really see that happening though. I definitely think at least one of Denisenko or Tippett will play a pretty prominent role for the Panthers this upcoming season. I have Tippett higher on the list just because I think he might be a little bit more ready than Denisenko is, with him already having played a full professional season in North America. Denisenko on the other hand, maybe he has to get used to playing on North American ice surface a little bit, who knows. Nonetheless, both of these guys are fantastic prospects for the Panthers. At the number 4 spot, we have Gabriel Vilardi of the Los Angeles Kings, their 11th overall pick from the 2017 NHL Draft. This past season was huge for Vilardi. He was able to stay healthy, which is the most important thing. He had 25 points in 32 American Hockey League games, and when the Kings called him up, Vilardi played amazing. He had 7 points in 10 games. He was one of the biggest reasons as to why the Kings were one of the hottest teams in the NHL in the couple of weeks leading up to the pause. With what Vilardi showed in that brief stint, I think it's safe to say he's ready to be a full-time member of the LA Kings. I believe Vilardi can be like a 50 to 60 point player right away, of course depending on how many games are played. If he can put up those type of numbers, I definitely think that puts him in a pretty good position to at least be in the conversation for the Calder Trophy. Moving along now, at number 3, I have Alexis Lafreniere of the New York Rangers, the first overall pick from the 2020 NHL Draft. I feel like a lot of people may disagree with me only having him at number 3, and that is fair. Alexis Lafreniere is seen as a franchise-altering talent. I do think he's the real deal, but I'm not someone who thinks every first overall pick is going to come in their first year and put up 80 to 90 points. Now, don't get me wrong, Alexis Lafreniere definitely could do that. I wouldn't be shocked if he's up there around a point per game in his rookie season. He has that type of talent. He's going to be playing with some real talented players in New York, but I do like to keep my expectations, relatively low, and it's not like first overall picks win the Calder Trophy all the time either. This season it was Cale Makar. The season before that it was Elias Pettersson. Before him, Matthew Barzal. I'm pretty sure the last first overall pick to win the Calder was Austin Matthews. So again, I'm keeping my expectations relatively low. I don't have him as one of my top 2 favorites, but I do think for sure he'll be in the conversation. And I also wouldn't be surprised if he makes me look like an idiot and just absolutely tears it up. At the number 2 spot, I have another Rangers player here, goaltender Igor Shesterkin. He only played 12 NHL games this past season, so he is still eligible for the Calder Trophy, but what an absolutely insane year it was for Igor Shesterkin. In the 25 American Hockey League games that he played for the Hartford Wolfpack, he had a 17-4-3 record and put up a .934 save percentage. And the 12 games he played with the Rangers, a 10-2 record and a .932 save percentage. Just ridiculous numbers. With the Rangers having bought out Lundqvist and him signing with the Capitals, that gives the Rangers a tandem of Alexander Georgiev and of course Igor Shesterkin, and if Shesterkin can play anywhere close to the level he played this past season, I think he probably gets more games than Georgiev does. Now, I don't think he's going to be able to maintain a .930 or above save percentage. That would be pretty insane, but I definitely think he's capable of putting up between .920 and .925 if he does that and has a good record, which I'd imagine he probably will have a pretty solid record because I think the Rangers are going to be a real good team. He's got a real shot at winning the Calder. In my opinion, he has to be one of the favorites heading into the season. And finally, at number 1, shouldn't be a big surprise to anybody, Kirill Kaprizov, prospect for the Minnesota Wild, a 5th round pick, 135th overall from the 2015 NHL draft, has been putting up extremely impressive numbers in the KHL over the past 4 seasons. This past season, he actually was 3rd in KHL scoring with 62 points in 57 games. He also played a huge part in Russia winning gold in the 2018 Winter Olympics. He had 9 points in 6 games. Everything indicates that Kirill Kaprizov is the real deal, and he's finally coming over to the NHL, which has to be extremely exciting for Minnesota Wild fans. The hype around Kaprizov has been insane for like 3 years now. I'm really intrigued to see how his play transitions from the KHL to the NHL, but just going off of what he's been able to do in one of the top leagues outside of the NHL for the past 3-4 years, I feel like he has to be the Calder Trophy favorite. So that is going to do it for today's video. Those are my top 10 Calder Trophy candidates heading into the 2020-2021 NHL season. Like I said at the start of the video, if there's a player that you think is going to be in the conversation for the Calder Trophy that I did not talk about, be sure to let me know down below in the comment section. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave it a like. That is the best way to show your support. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you want to see more NHL content like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I will talk to you all in the next video.